And now a word about wild game burgers. A lot of people tell me that venison burgers are dry, they don't like it, it doesn't have great flavor. Sometimes it's livery, it's muttony, it's gamey. If you cook a venison burger, if you cook a deer burger, an elk burger, an antelope burger, or a bison burger like I'm gonna cook here properly, it should be very mild in flavor and you can add a whole bunch of flavor to it. First of all, I want you to consider this. On a deer burger, there's about 3 grams of fat in a 3.5 ounce portion of deer. So you need to add a little fat. You know, when you get that prime rib, you didn't eat the whole thing at dinner and you come home and you look in the refrigerator the next day and you've got this prime rib that's got a bunch of marbled fat on the outside. You don't get that with deer. So what I typically do is add about 20% of a fatty ground beef or pork to my burger mix. And then of course, you want to add some flavor. I'm going to make a bison burger with grilled peppers, portobello mushrooms, cheese, and whatever else I want to throw on this thing, but it's going to have a whole bunch of flavor. It's going to be a big giant burger and it won't be dry and it won't be overcooked. I'm going to start with some of the High Mountain seasoning. This is the mesquite burger seasoning here. It's got some good mesquite flavors. One of the things that I don't like about a lot of mesquite, hickory type flavors is it's a real fake smoke flavor. This is actually pretty authentic here. Portobello mushroom. It's just a big brown mushroom. If you buy the cremini mushrooms, it's actually the same mushroom. These are bigger. There's these fins on the portobello mushrooms. To me, they don't add anything, so I like to get rid of them. So I start by scraping the fins off. And they also leave gritty brown things in your teeth when you go to eat your burger. And I'll put a little olive oil on that before it goes on. Onion. Season the burger with that High Mountain seasoning. I'll hit this side here and I'll hit the other side when I flip it. And then I have an Anaheim pepper and a jalapeno pepper. Let me explain a little something about peppers also. The heat of the pepper, people mistakenly think that on a jalapeno pepper like this, that all the heat is in the seeds. It's not the seeds, it's the ribs. And as you get closer to the cap, this is where all that heat is more concentrated. So if you don't like your stuff really hot, if you don't like really hot foods, you can get the flavor of a jalapeno pepper, but avoid the cap end and avoid the ribs that are in the inside. I'm just gonna grill the whole mess. I'm going to put olive oil on top of the mushrooms. So once this burger starts to sweat a little bit, I'm going to give it a quarter turn. This is a hot grill box, so I don't want to burn everything that's in here. I'm going to keep my eye on it. These mushrooms, I'm going to quarter them also. Once they start to shrink a little bit and they start to get softened, then it's time to give them a flip. I want to get these peppers nice and blistered, and then they're going to get softer. You can scrape away the outside part, the burnt part if you want. You're going to have almost like an Ortega chili on the inside, which is actually the same brand. When you see those canned chili peppers, the milder ones, that's those. Almost done here. You see this juice right here? That's the burger letting you know that it's time to flip. Pepper jack. We'll make this the combo. These guys are just about ready. And the way you tell how a burger is cooked is not by peeking inside the burger. You know, most chefs use their fingers, but if you just take your tongs and as it's cooking, you just kind of press down on it, it lets you know. When you have a raw piece of meat, you push it down and the indentation stays down. As it cooks, it firms up. Eventually you'll learn to feel what medium rare tastes like. If you insist on overcooking your venison or bison burgers, there's nothing I can do to stop you, but I would suggest that the more you're gonna cook it, that the more fatty ground beef or ground pork that you add to it. So if you're a well-done person, I might go as much as 30 or 40% of a fatty ground beef or pork. This one's done. Onions are done. Peppers are good. And I'm gonna let these peppers sit for a few minutes on the cutting board and they're gonna soften up. Portobello. One more blast of the High Mountain mesquite seasoning. Let's start with this. I have a onion cheese bread. I'm a mustard guy. Some green leaf lettuce. A couple of tomatoes. Big slice of onion. Pepper jack cheese. Portobello mushroom. You gotta admit, that's a pretty good looking burger.